Meanwhile, KwaZulu-Natal Premier Sihle Zikalala has expressed deep shock at the sudden passing of the Queen. Zikalala says this is yet another tragedy of monumental proportions to befall the province and the people of KwaZulu-Natal. He's extended his heartfelt condolences to the royal family and the King of Eswatini. The Premier joins me now live via our video line. Premier, very good morning to you. You've expressed your heartfelt condolences. An unexpected passing and, of course, the timing, also something very heartbreaking.
Indeed, this is heartbreaking. We express our sincere condolences to the Zulu royal family as a whole, but also to the monarchy, the King of Eswatini. The Zulu nation is grieving but suffering a double blow. This is compounded, and it is a situation that is very difficult to bear. We have just lost His Majesty the King at the beginning of March, and now it is Her Majesty Queen Dlamini-Zulu, who has also been recently appointed as a regent. This compound the pain that the people have gone through as a Zulu nation, but also that the royal house have suffered. With all of this, we want to assure the royal house of our support and the Zulu nation as a whole. And to the people of KwaZulu-Natal, we wish to express our deepest condolences to all, but we say let us be calm. The government and the royal house will work through this dark cloud that have engulfed us.
You speak about how this passing has essentially dealt a double blow to the Zulu nation. Let's talk about its significance, especially following the King's passing.
It is so significant because it created some sort of a vacuum. Not to say there will be no authority at all, but we know that she has just been appointed as a regent. So it is a double blow because we had a king who was accessible, working with all of us, very developmental orientated. But just now, after he passed on, a regent was appointed. The appointment of a regent showed a commitment that we appreciate and acknowledge women leadership. But the sudden passing on of Her Majesty then deprive us of her leadership that we expected. We were looking forward to working with her as a regent of the Zulu nation as the provincial governor.
Premier, the details around Her Majesty's passing are quite unclear. How much do you know about the manner in which she passed on?
What we know is that she has not been well for some time, and she was hospitalized. And then yesterday, she passed on yesterday evening. This is according to the report presented by the Prime Minister of the Zulu monarchy.
The Prime Minister of the Zulu monarchy also spoke, mentioning some of the details that will follow as he made his statement. As a province, what how will you be honoring the late Queen?
We will continue to honor her life through various ceremonies that we will participate on. We are going from tomorrow to ensure that we scale down mass activities in respect of the royal house as they are mourning and we are part of mourning as a nation. And then we will be part of preparations for the funeral.
Her Majesty was also seen as a bridge between the two monarchies and nations, a role which she performed. What does this gap now mean for the two nations?
Well, it is a fact that she played a critical role as a bridge between the Zulu and the Swati nations. We believe that that role will be sustained by those who grew up in her footsteps, but we know that she has also developed this into some kind of programs that will include visitations of people from Swaziland to South Africa, KwaZulu-Natal, and those from Zulu Royal House to Swaziland. We believe that relationship will be sustained going forward, and the relationship that was there will also find expression in number of other exchange activities, including cultural activities that are normally performed.
We also, I mean, you mentioned shortly, Premier, about Her Majesty's role and significance when it comes to leadership of women leading. And we know that she broke several barriers and, also broke down some stereotypes of what sort of leadership should be expected from a woman of her stature. What are some of the lessons that can be drawn from her leadership style and the manner in which she interacted for the betterment of the people?
She performed her role as a leader and in support of His Majesty. As a person was very firm on issues that relate to culture, but she was also a mother, very strong character, who knows her role and who knows what giving leadership means to the society. She was not a person who was wishy-washy on what is good and what is wrong. She was quite straightforward. And those are the attributes that defined her. For us, we see that she played a role that was played by a number of heroic women like Princess Nandi and Mkabayi Kajama and others.
You mentioned that the provincial government will scale down some activities during this unfortunate time of tragedy and grieving. As a provincial executive, when do you plan on visiting the Royal House, and what are some of the plans leading to that once you've visited the family?
We are planning to visit the Royal House from tomorrow, but we will confirm the details. And that's where we will start meeting with them formally and ensure that we start the preparations of the funeral, working together and being guided and led by the Royal House.
Very well. Thank you so much for your time. That discussion with KwaZulu-Natal Premier Sihle Zikalala, speaking there about the passing of the regent of the Zulu nation, Queen Mantfombi Dlamini-Zulu, passing away. And, of course, the details around her passing still sketchy, and we will be getting more throughout the course of the coming days. Let's now